Well, how does it feel to be here at the premiere?
It feels great. This has been like a whirlwind, We came from Tribeca, New York. Now we're here. It's nice to see some faces that I didn't get to see in New York. Yeah.
How did you get involved with the project?
I got involved when I read the script and I realized I was reading something that was an absolute gem. The writing was insane. I think Bruce Miller is a genius. And I know that I probably wasn't the go-to person for this role. Serena Joy is written as older, arthritic. She has a cane in the book.
I heard that both of the main, couples younger. So,
yes. Yeah. So
that was an interesting choice.
it was, and I think a powerful one because you have these two women pitted against each other, Serena Joy and Offred, and you watch this power play that might not have necessarily been there had Serena Joy been as old as she is in the novel.
Yes. So how was it? What made you want to play the role? What drew you to that role?
I think she's so complex. I think she's a really dark woman, and I think she's responsible for part of that darkness and for putting herself in that position. So, and she's a silent stander by type person who watches this kind of oppression take place in this society, and she was part of creating it, but she's now living in this cage that she sort of was part of designing, and I think there's so many dualities just within that in itself that was attractive to me to sort of try and dive into. Yeah.
And what do you think viewers are going to take away, especially people who are readers of the book and they're big fans of the original material? I know that it's gone through some changes, and in general it's fairly dark dystopian, but it seems like some reviews are saying you're left with a sense of hope at the end. What do you think the message will be?
Oh, I think there's a lot of messages. I think you can't just pin it down to one thing. I mean, for sure, there is hope in the book, but it's also a very tragic story. It's told in a beautiful way, but there's a lot of tragedy here and a lot of messages, a lot of warning signs, a lot of light shed on issues and things that are actually happening in the real world that have been happening for many decades. But at the end of the day, it is a story of survival also. I think for everybody involved, every character has some kind of survival story in this, and I think there's a message of people, women especially, banding together, even though the walls are very thick and rigid here, and there's no way to communicate and connect with people anymore.
And lastly, we focus a lot on health at New You. Do you have a piece of health advice that you give young fans, your younger self?
A bit of what advice?
Health advice.
Health advice? Health advice. Well, don't eat sugar.
That's a good one.
Don't eat sugar. Eat your greens. Listen, I think that old cliche is so true. You are what you eat. Period. End of story. I don't care what anyone says. It's so true. You are what you eat. Be mindful of what you eat.